Welcome, everybody. It is me. It is the Cyber Warrior. This is Cyber Warrior Studios, and I know you are all here for another amazing episode of Security Happy Hour. And as always, we always aim to deliver. We it's the fun, the conversation, the beer. We're all here for it. So, I promise, if you just hang around for like 10 seconds, we'll be right back. And we're back again. And actually, with that, we got there it is, the official start Security Happy Hour. And we're here with it. And I have with me my guest at this time, Mwanawa Tarver, the one and only.
You got it right. You got it right, y'all.
Please make sure you share this stream. Let people know we're here, we're live, and we are in it to win it today. We are talking a very important topic. That topic being burnout and perseverance. And I know this is of the utmost importance to quite a few people right now. But seeing as how Mwanawa was the one to propose the topic, please let us know, what is its importance to you and what are you dealing with?
Okay. And it might sound, when I thought about this, it might sound a little odd that as new as I am to this, I'm talking about burnout already. Not necessarily that I'm burnt out yet. And I say yet because I'm, running into a lot of people, everybody I know from, people who've done this for decades to people who just started a couple months ago, are starting to feel like they're starting to feel like one-armed paper hangers. They're doing too much, and they're starting to feel like they're having to push themselves past a point that is really healthy. I know a few people who are, they have their hands full because that's what they do. That's their job. So it's just, this is one of those fields that more than any other one that I've been in, and more than most of them that I know about, it lends itself to, the possibility of, as I say, wearing yourself down to the nub very quickly. And just, I thought it was important to talk about and figure out ways to avoid that, to be able to do your job and to be able to do everything effectively without, burning yourself out, completely, just burning your fuse down and just gone. And the perseverance part, that's the flip side of that coin, is, you do have to keep pushing at it. You do have to keep going. You do have to have that never die, never give up spirit. But you also have to know when to break, when to take a break, when to calm down, to slow down a little bit, not quit, but say, you know what, I'm already at 9.8, and this is going to take me off the meter. Let me slow down a little bit here. So I probably have more questions and answers on that. Like I said, I'm kind of new to this, but I just, kind of want to hear, from your perspective, what you do, what you think is the best way to go about that. From other people, everybody in the chat, what they have to say about what they do to keep from burning out. If they never burn out, I know a couple
That's a
people that
lie.
I don't understand. I don't understand how they don't. I know a few people. It's like, okay, I'm writing 3 books, and then I'm teaching a class. Then I'm doing this over here. I'm also doing, handstands and wind sprints. And I'm like, how are you doing that? How? So, but those also aren't people that say I never burn out and it's not possible. There's some people, like I said, they're like, oh no, I'm fine. I'm always fine. That seems like
And
dangerous territory.
it is very dangerous because it means they're not taking a look at themselves, and they're probably neglecting a lot of other things in their lives, and constantly looking for that next fix of education or cyber or something like that. And let's be honest, I felt burnout. I did. I literally wanted to quit everything because back a few years ago, I was when I first started this channel, I was doing 5 videos a week, 4 or 5, something like that. Plus, I was doing my full-time job. Plus, I'm a father. Plus, I'm a husband. And on top of that, I still got yard work and things around the house to do. And then I was still furthering my education and doing research and learning and CTFs, hack the box, everything like that. And so very quickly, I thought I could handle it. I'm like, I love this shit. There's no way I can get burnout on something I love. Like, it's impossible.
Right.
No, you can't.
You can.
And so it got to the point I realized I was neglecting my family. I was neglecting my job because I was getting to a point where I was like, I don't even want to do my job no more. So I would like be on social media or be doing this as a way to kind of be like, oh, I'm being creative. I'm doing something so I don't have to worry about it. But the reality of it was I started pulling away from everything I loved doing.
Right.
And I realized I was like, I got to stop. I got to slow down. I got to figure things out. And for me, it was cutting back on the amount of videos I was doing as far as long form. I cut back on like being dedicated to things like technical, as far as Tech Tuesdays, like my content goes, because my job allows me to be technical. My job allows me to do a lot of different things. But as far as content goes, that's not what I wanted to be. So to me, it was more of a chore, and it still is more of a chore. I'll do it on occasion, but it's more of a chore of me to do technical content versus this show, Walk With Me, and all the motivational stuff that I do.
Right.
So, I had to reevaluate who I am, what I want to do, and what's important to me. And it took a lot of work, and I didn't realize I was burning out until I was burnt out.
Right.
I did
Right.
not recognize the signs. And so for me, I literally walk away. I go through stints. A, a big problem in this industry and a lot of industries is you're given unlimited PTO, or even if you're given PTO like 2-3 weeks a year, whatever it may be, people refuse to take it. They're like, I got to be at work. I got to be at work. I got to be at work. Things will fall apart if I'm not there, or I'll have a million emails to answer when I get back.
Right.
And I tell all of my people, if you go on PTO, I better not see you sign in to the team. I better not see you sign in to work, because PTO is for you. That is who it's for. It is for you to be with your family, be with your friends, go through, step away. Work will be here when you get back. Don't worry about it. We got you. Go. And that way you can recover and rejuvenate. That is how I see coming back and avoiding the burnout is take PTO, and if you have unlimited, take 1 week before.
Okay. And what do you? I'm not trying to flip this into me interviewing you, but what do you? Although I will. Um. What do you think might be some reason, some cause that people just absolutely cannot? I won't say will not, but absolutely cannot make themselves not do anything. Like take PTO and actually be, the O part of the be actually be off. It's not part time on, not part time halfway there. It's do not worry about this right now. Reset, rejuvenate, regroup. And there's just a lot of people, and I said particularly a lot of people that I've run across in this field that just like can't do it, cannot, just can't.
It's not can't, it's a choice. We all make choices in life. We choose how we want to live our lives. And I talk about it a lot, is the way you feel, the way you deal with things is all a choice. So for me, what I started doing is if I take PTO, I cut off notifications on my phone. If I don't completely remove an application altogether.
Right.
When I take PTO, I'm there for family. That's the important thing. Now, I may still do content. I may do shorts or something like that is separate from work. But again, that's because I have found a way to separate my content from the cybersecurity side. I am now more motivational, more inspirational, do things more about, kind of that route, with the exception of security happy hour. So I can still do my content and not feel overwhelmed or get burnt out by it. But when I cut myself off from cybersecurity and tech, a lot of times I disable notifications and I'm done. Right. I'll go work in the yard. I'll go camping. I'll go somewhere where there's no cell service. Because then guess what? Then you don't have an option. Go where there's no cell service and you ain't got a choice. Right. I need to get my
can't do it.
Oh no.
That's something that I've just gotten not new to, but realigning myself to do that. Like I said, I've got this new job that I don't work every day, but I work, most days, and it's usually in the evening. So I wasn't realizing how tired I was how tired I was getting. Like I'd be to the end of a class and I'd just be like, oh my God, what just happened? Because teaching is a little tiring. Cybersecurity is thought intensive. So I'm like, why is this going on? Turned off my phone today, didn't answer any messages till about 6 o'clock. I feel like a brand new woman, but it took a second of being like, no, I don't have to keep hopping up to see if this email is sent. No, I don't have to, read about this particular thing today. It'll still be there tomorrow. And just like I said, trying to switch off that gotta be always on mentality that, like I said, and it's really easy to get swept up into it, because when you see everybody around you doing all this stuff all the time, it's like, if I don't do all the stuff, all the things all the time, I'm not going to be able to keep up.
So one of our good friends posts about burnout and mental health and taking a break, and he just did so today.
I saw that.
JJ Davey straight up pointed out. And so here's the thing you will realize. Those that have actually lived that life and gotten burnout and know it's possible and have been dealt with imposter syndrome and have dealt with everything else are starting to come out the woodwork and tell you that you need to take a break. And one of the things, and I'm gonna put Amanda's comment up here in a second, because right in line with hers, one of the things it took when I was in the military, if I took leave, I was still working. I was still making phone calls. I was still doing things. I was still working. 24/7, it did not stop. Whether I was on leave, on duty, if it was a 4-day weekend, if it was just at night, I was always working. I did it all the time. And then when I retired, it was the same way. I was always working. I was like, oh yeah, I'm available. Let's talk. Let's work. Let's do this, and this.
Right.
It wasn't until 2020, near the end of 2020, we actually probably about mid-year, we went to Tennessee. That was the first time ever in my life and career I cut everything off and said I am only going to be there with my family.
Wow.
It was the most refreshing thing I had ever done.
Yeah.
And so from then on, what I had started doing, and I'm going to put this up, is setting boundaries. Where after a certain time, so let's just say 8 to 5 is your scheduled time to work, which we all know in this field, you can work late, you can work early. There's a bunch of different things. But let's just say you have to be there 8 to 5. Fine. If I got to be sitting at my computer from 8 to 5, then at 5 o'clock, I'm done. You can't talk to me. I'm out. I'm not even going to look at the computer. I might have my notifications on just in case something serious happens, because that's the type of person I am. But if it's just, hey, can we get this done? Yeah, tomorrow when I show back up. Or actually, in this case, Tuesday when I'm back at work. Sure, yeah, I'll do it.
Don't let it be a long weekend and you want to throw something at me at 4:55 on a Friday.
Precisely. So that is one of those things that you have to set those boundaries. And Amanda says it right here. Not in the industry yet, but general burnout tactic I have is setting boundaries, not only with others, but most importantly with myself. And that is vital. You have to, Mwanawa, you know this, especially in the dealing with spirituality and things like that. You have to have that introspective look at yourself and know who you are inside, right, and know when to just be like, you know what, I gotta stop.
Because otherwise, if you're looking for all of it from outside of you, then you're never going to be full. You're
No.
always going to be looking.
And so you've got to be able to sit back, take that look, and be like, you know what? Something's not right. Something here is not right. I got to step away. And that's where your meditation, your nature walks, your calisthenics, your working out, whatever the case may be, that's where all that comes into play. Because then you can, however you meditate, which isn't just sitting cross-legged and meditating. No. However you focus, that's what you need to do, and really figure out who you are, what's going on, and recenter yourself. Once you're recentered, once you have that balance again, then okay, then we can go back to figuring out what do I need to do to move further, to do more things, and that would be how that works out. But so many people are afraid to do that. They're afraid to look inside. Everything is about the outside.
That's very true. That's very true.
Let's see. Another one from Amanda. When I started a business, I made myself get a separate phone, and nothing business related was on my phone. When I was done working or taking a day off, I turned that phone off and leave it at home. Oh, that's a good one. It's a really good one.
Yeah.
I don't have a work phone. I keep saying I might get one just so I don't have random people calling my phone. But I haven't done it yet. Like my company, I work for Stratascale. They'll pay for mine now. But I'm like, I don't want to go through paperwork and the hassle and like wait for it. And then I have two phones.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's kind of one of those fine line things. Like, like I said earlier, with perseverance being, and the flip side of burnout and perseverance is, I was going somewhere with this. What did you just say about being accessible, but not being too accessible?
Yeah, like it. So here's the way, and this is I'm interviewing people now for a senior role, and one of the things I tell people is, I don't necessarily keep hours, right? I'm not going to sit here and expect you to be there 8 to 5, 9 to 5, whatever the case may be. I expect your work to get done. Your work gets done, great. However, because of that, and because I'm not looking for you to put in 9, 10, 11, 12 hours a day, if I need you late at night because something came up with a client, I am expecting to be able to get a hold of you because I'm giving you your time to do whatever. So if you need a lunch break for 2-3 hours because you got an appointment and you got all these other things to do and you got family activities and everything like that, great, go do it. You need to go pick your kids up and go hang out with them, great, go do it. You've got, hockey and all this other stuff with your family, great, go do it. But at the same time, if I got a client that gets breached and I call you at 10 o'clock at night because I need you to come in and do some IR and do some other work for me, I don't want to hear, oh, I can't be there. I'm just waking up or no. Get your coffee.
There's a trade-off there for that kind of,
yeah.
And that's something that is not, it's another kind of difference in this field from any one that I've been in before. It was, certain offices that I worked at, if your lunch break was from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock and you came strolling in there at 1:01, you were going to get caught on the carpet and it was going to just be a big, ugly mess. And I'm just like, okay, over 1 minute that I probably at some point in time have worked through lunch, and it's all like I said, burnt myself down to the nub for, for you to be, at me about this 1 minute. That is one of those things that seems kind of cool, or is kind of cool about cybersecurity, is if, in the right office, in the right organization, sure, they might expect you, to be, ready for action at 11 o'clock at night sometimes. But if you have a doctor's appointment that runs 30 minutes over, you're not going to hear about that for the next 3 months and why you're irresponsible and why, you're not going to deal with that.
And what you'll find in a lot of these good companies, and I do got a question here from SAR and AR, or Infinite and Probability AI. But what you'll find in a lot of these companies that are now understanding more about the industry and more about the field, and you have a lot of these younger managers coming up, is that, look, as long as you're at your meetings, right? So especially if you're client facing, if you attend your client meetings and client work is getting done, I'm not logging your time. I'm not sitting here looking at whether or not you're logged in 9 hours a day or 10 hours a day. So it's about, as long as the work is getting done and the company's making money, What do I care? I don't care what you do with your day. But again, that comes down to A, we don't work in an office, we're all remote. And B, if I call you at 11 o'clock at night or 1 o'clock in the morning or, whatever, especially if you're on call, because we're working on call schedules, and you don't answer, we got bigger issues, homie. Because now I'm giving you freedom, and then you're not there when I need you.
Right.
And that's the big thing. But I do have a good question here, and Mwanawa, this one might be good for you to answer, even though I might answer. I will answer it as well. Okay. One of the first steps in dealing with burnout is recognizing the signs. What do you consider to be the signs of burning out?
I would say for me personally, my concentration isn't quite the same. Other parts of my life everything just seems a little bit askew. It's like working quite right, and I'm getting in arguments with everybody in my family. I personally get stress headaches, and like you were saying, sometimes it's hard to know the signs going into it until you're into it. It's important to know for you individually before you wind up just way in the depths of screw it all, burnout. I'm not doing any of this at all. See y'all later. Bye. I said it's a very individual thing, but for not as far as your job, not feeling like you care as much about what you're doing, but you're not as sharp, and it's a whole combination of things. It's a very very individual. But those are kind of the big three for me. Is I can tell I start getting a headache in one eye. That means okay, you need to slow down. I'm real crabby and just snarking at everybody, and my focus is just, no matter how much I try to concentrate, it's just not, things are just bouncing off my brain. They're not getting in there. They're just kind of sliding off.
Yeah, you get that ADHD like to an extreme where it's like nothing
is sticking at all.
You're all over the place all the time.
Yes.
So like my thing is, I did not realize burnout symptoms until it was too late, because I had never felt it before, or at least maybe I had and not realized it. Right. It's one of those things where it just didn't really click for me. But for me, it's definitely when you start to realize you don't enjoy what you're doing anymore. Now, by that time, it might be a little too late, but that was the biggest thing for me. Is I no longer enjoyed hacking. I no longer offensive security. I no longer enjoyed my job as a whole. Content, as much as I love helping people, I felt like I was kind of just there. Like I was just, phoning it in and not really me.
And you're not, your heart and your head's barely in it, and your heart's definitely not. And you're just kind of like, what am I doing this for?
Yeah, there was so much. And then on top of that, I was depressed. I was extremely depressed. I was taking it out on my family. I was yelling at my kids when I shouldn't have been, for like the dumbest shit. Like there was no reason for me to be doing it, and I was. And me and my wife, we were just having issues because I was not being the husband I should have been. And so there was a lot that went into it, but it wasn't until I cut things off that I realized, oh shit, I burn out.
Right.
Like I was burning the candle at both ends, and probably even a third end in the middle somewhere. Like I literally, this thing was burning hot and burning quick, and I didn't realize it.
And you think you're fine because, well, some people don't think they're fine, but you think you're fine because you're busy. It's like, okay, I can't be completely just tapped out because look how much stuff I'm getting done. It's like, well, that's kind of the burn part of the burnout. That's and it's knowing the difference between what for you is, some people just can get a little closer to revving in the red, and that's how they operate, and they're able to do that. Some people cannot even get right here without being like, okay, you know what, this is affecting everything, and I've only got a little bit finite amount of energy that is quickly getting sapped. I need to do something. Like, I don't know who said it. Somebody in chat said something like the further the longer it takes you to realize it, the longer it takes you to get at it, the longer it's going to take you to get back.
That's Griffin, and yeah, it's right
Yes,
here.
yeah. The longer
The
you wait,
longer you wait, the longer recovery takes, and it's so true. But Amanda put it right here. I realize I'm getting there when I start to not enjoy what I'm doing.
Mhm.
If somebody in cybersecurity, somebody like myself who has always enjoyed breaking into shit, always, I could sit there on Hack the Box and literally up until I went for my Graham and OSCP, I had cleared out every Hack the Box machine except for the two hardest ones. Every single one was gone. And after I got done with Graham, then I did my OSCP. Plus, I was working full time in a position of pen testing. I was just done. I was spent. Plus, all of my content, everything else I was doing, I was spent. I was like,
Mhm.
I can't do this anymore. And then as you get into a role of a pen tester, and then you realize, well, it's a lot of paperwork. And then, well, we didn't have a ton of clients coming in at the time for the old company I worked for. So I was doing a lot of pre-sale shit. I wasn't necessarily doing pen testing,
Mhm.
but then I was like learning pen testing. It was a whole
Too
headache. And I
much.
was just like, I'm done. I quit. And so that was the year, because that was 2020. That was the year when I took vacation. It was the first time I realized clearing my phone, killing notifications, killing everything was the best thing I could do. Because then when I came
2020
back,
was that year for a whole lot of people because we had to screech. Some of it was we had to screech to a halt. So I think a lot of people realized then that they had been pushing themselves to a point that really wasn't healthy
yes.
because we had to sit still.
Well, not just that, but I've been working remote since 2018,
Mhm.
right? So before the pandemic, before all that bullshit happened, I was working remotely. I have not been to an office to work since that time. So you're looking at 5 years now that I've been remote and not stepped foot in an office for as a working environment.
That's
Now,
amazing.
the last company I worked for was we got together for like a gathering. They did some marketing shit. We took some headshots and did some other stuff, but it wasn't necessarily for work. That was the only time I'd gone to that office besides to pick up my equipment and to drop off. Actually, no, I didn't even drop off my equipment. I think I mailed it back. So to pick up my equipment. And so I've not seen offices. So
Mhm.
for me, what I do, especially in this field, if you can avoid being in an office and working remote, and personally, I will not work at a job that requires me to go to the office at all. If showing up to an office is required, I won't take the job. No, I'm done. And the reason for that is for two reasons. One, working from home, I get more work done than I'll ever get done in an office, because in an office, I'm gonna walk around, I'm gonna bullshit with people, I'm gonna talk,
You be
I
talking,
won't
you
do nothing.
be outside smoking, just staring at the
Yep.
window.
The
Yeah.
first job out of the army, I got yelled at for how much I smoked. First job out of the army, because I was a manager slash consultant slash, it was a whole thing, and I got paid shit. I got paid like 60 grand a year, and I'm like, you're paying me this much money to be technically a manager. Um, every hour I was outside smoking, and people
Yeah.
were bitching because they'd look through the window, see me out at the smoke pit, and then they start complaining like, oh, he's out there all the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
bitch, my work gets done. Shut the hell up. I don't care.
I went through that. I haven't smoked cigarettes in probably 5 years, but I would get that all the time. It's like, okay, well, I
Yeah,
need to get up for a second so I can reset my brain,
right.
so I can come back to what I'm doing and have it make sense to me and to you. She's out there smoking again. I'm like, oh, you know what?
The best friends in the army, the and this is what people don't understand, and the reason one of the reasons I'm kind of like this is in the army. That's where work got done, was
Mhm.
at the smoke pit, because
Mhm.
you'd go out there, you'd smoke, you'd talk, you'd be like, hey, I need X, Y, and Z. All right, cool. Hey, can you do A, B, and C for me? Yeah, I got you. No worries. And you'd go back and it get done, as
Mhm.
opposed to the bureaucracy and the red tape and the paperwork and all the other BS. Smoke pits and bars are where work gets done,
Where people tend to,
because
I don't
red
know,
tape and
the
bureaucracy
network and
goes
the,
out the window.
but oh yeah, yeah. There's a lot, like you said, less red tape, less all the formality that people are trying to, I'm gonna make sure I do this right. It's like, look, this is what I need. Okay,
Yeah,
this is what I can do for you. Okay, well, can you do this like this? Absolutely. And it's not all the, well, I've got to send this form to so and so, and that form had to send the form to so and so. Like I said, that can add to a lot of job stress, a lot of burnout too, is having to go through I want to call them extra steps because I'm not going to say, for everybody's situation, everybody's office, they might be very, very valid reasons that they're doing it the way that they're doing it. But it just never seems to be as smooth and as efficient as it could be without all that extra junk.
Oh, for sure. And now Misha, I'm glad you show up, man. Warriors
Misha!
show up, and they show up in droves. I love it. But Misha got a great question here. And so, Mwanawa, you are working at a college, correct?
Sort of, kind of, no. Actually, more no than yes. I am working for a company that does all kinds of different boot camps but mine is the one I'm doing is cybersecurity
Okay.
teaching, and
Is it remote?
it is
That's the
remote.
question.
Yes, yeah. I'm
Okay.
nowhere near the college that I work at. I've never even been to this state. So
Okay.
yeah.
So then, all right. I'm asking because then that means you're working remotely. We can both answer this question. What do you do for burnout when you don't have PTO and you don't have a place to take a break from it all due to work at home jobs?
Somebody actually already early up in this scroll said what I always do. I get in my car and I drive and I listen
That's
to music
Amanda. Amanda's
and I
a Jeep
yell
girl.
and I scream and I sing, and if you see me going down the street, listening to Queen really loud and waving my arms a lot, mind your business. That's what I do. Or I go out and take walks. That's another thing that I do.
So me personally, now I get PTO. The last 3 companies I worked for had unlimited PTO. I try to make it a point to take a week off every quarter, but it doesn't always happen because I'm one of those people that if I have meetings, homie, don't be putting your hand in front of my camera. We'll be fighting. Whoop your butt. My son, my youngest son. I don't know if you saw it. My youngest son.
I
Just
saw
all
a
of
little
sudden,
hand or something,
his
and
hand
then
was like, right here, and I'm like,
I saw it.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Ooh, you got 5 of those.
He's my youngest.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah. So for me, I go outside a lot. I take my smoke breaks, and literally I will get up from my computer. It could be 30 minutes after I had a cigarette. It could be an hour. It could be 2 hours. Depends what I'm doing. I don't feel, because I'm remote, I don't feel the need to put a limit on it. Like if I'm stressed and I'm just dealing with a ton of stuff, I'll get up every 15, 20 minutes.
Every 5, 6, 7 minutes. If my brain keeps getting into a knot, which that's indicative of something usually, if I'm getting frustrated that often. But if I need to get up and until it makes sense or until that knot gets out of my brain, I'm not going to set myself the time like, okay, well, I'll work for an hour and then I can take 30 minutes. If it's a day where that's just not working, if I can work for 10 minutes and then take a 20-minute break, if that's one of the neat things about working from home, especially if you have, I know some remote offices doing now where I don't even really understand it, where you have to be at your keyboard, and people always talking about getting mouse jigglers and all this stuff. And I'm just like, why are you even setting yourself up for that? Why even? So that I don't know anything about all that.
There are companies, and I know this and I'm not going to speak on who. I know someone that if it doesn't show them active and logged into Teams or whatever they're using for time or whatever,
right,
9 hours a day minus whatever your lunch break is,
right,
they get yelled at.
Yeah, and I don't understand how. Like I said, I'm not a manager, but I don't understand how you can have people that work with you and for you work efficiently like that, because
no,
I don't know.
If anybody who grew up in office work, especially, homie, quit trying to get in front of my camera.
Ooh.
Especially in the, any type of white collar. I don't even know what you call cybersecurity. I don't know if it would be blue collar or white collar.
It would be more white collar, but I don't.
Azul, no, not azul. Sky blue, maybe.
Sky
it's
blue
a light
collar
blue with white.
Powder blue collar. Is it? No, it's not a collar at all. It's a hoodie.
There you go. All right. So if you work in the hoodie industry,
there you go.
Anybody that's been in for a while understands that in an office, work doesn't get done. because you've constantly got people at your door. You've constantly got people coming to your office. You're always in meetings. There's always something going on. So the reality of it is the amount of work people think that gets done in office doesn't actually get done, because you're only working, well, it gets done, but you're only working like 4 hours a day. Yeah. You're actually working probably half of your day. The other half to, 3/4 is spent talking, smoking, BSing, whatever, eating, you name it. Social media, it is what it is. Yeah. Whereas at home, you will work past the work time just because you're like, you know what? I realize I've been out like all day. I've had appointments. I got shit that needs to get done. I'm just going to get it done. Right. And because you have not had,
you can actually get in that zone. You can get in that zone. Everybody knows about getting in the zone where you kind of just flow, and there's nobody coming to your door. Not. Well, now what can you do? No. Oh.
Oh, that's the worst.
And it's like oh my God, when I was doing it, and you came in and stuck your head in the door.
When I was in an office, I didn't have that issue because it was an office shared with people. It wasn't cubicles. It was just different desks. I'm going to whoop your ass, homie.
Well, somebody's going to get it when the show is over.
Right. So it's just one of those things. So Misha, to be completely honest, to kind of follow up on this question, if you don't have PTO, you need to work for a new company. And I know where you're at, Misha. So if the company you are currently with doing pharmaceutical shit, you need to find a new one until you can get into cybersecurity, because you should have PTO. And when you take PTO, you shut everything off. You don't answer shit. You don't answer calls. You should have numbers of work numbers stored in your phone so that you can hit ignore and say, fuck you. Like, that's the point you need to get to, is being able to say, fuck you, I'm not here. Holy shit, Jax S.
I saw that. I was smiling. I was like, hey.
Jax is in the house. I love it. Jess Bishop's here.
I feel honored.
James Giles or Giles, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
And
everybody's in the house.
Did I see Jay in here? Jay Stallworth. Did I see you in here?
Jeff?
Jerry. I don't call him
Jerry. Hold on, I gotta find him.
I see him.
He is here. Stallworth is here.
Dude. Okay,
Jerry Stallworth. There he is.
Yeah.
He's like
nobody
sent 2 messages. That's it. Jack is also here, in case you're wondering.
Jack. Saw you too.
The one who has been dealing with a lot of shit. We're not going to get into it. That's his business. But he's in the house again. So thank you, Jack, for showing up. Amanda, Star AR, Griffin Infosec. The Land Shark, so that's my boy William Bailey.
Andrea, I just have to say congratulations to Andrea personally.
Oh, actually, yeah. So I don't know if she put it out yet.
She did,
but because I didn't see the post.
She did.
All right, so she did. You saw the post?
Yes.
Did you see the post? All right, I did not see the post.
I did, unless if I.
Oh no, I did. I did. Okay.
Okay,
you're right.
I'm sitting here like, don't have me getting beat up.
I saw it. You're right. I saw it. Now that I think about it, I saw it. Look, it's been a hot minute. All right, it's been a long day.
That's fine, but I'm not trying to get beat up because of your memory lapses.
No, you won't, because Andrea will come after me and yell at me for not remembering. So you're okay. But I do remember now, and yes, for everybody out there, Andrea Myler who has been a huge supporter of this show, especially since she's been on and found us. One of my warriors, someone I promote all the time. Just recently, today, passed their Security Plus. So, kudos, Andrea. I love you. Thank you for passing that, or else I would have had to find you down in Atlanta or wherever the hell you're at these days and whoop your ass, because, come on, girl, you know your shit. Had you failed that, me and you would have been fighting. Just saying.
Okay, that's between y'all. I'm not getting into that.
Andrea, I love Andrea. She always yells at me if I say something, if I ever have a bad day. This is why I love her, because she'll yell at me what the hell's your bad day for? Because I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Well, go back in your bed and find the right side.
That's funny. And all the times I've heard that phrase about getting up on the wrong side of the bed, I don't think I've ever heard anybody give that answer.
Andrew's
really the only answer. It's when you figure out where the right one is, then come back and see me.
I love Andrea.
You're
Andrea will
wrong-sidedness
always be my
over there.
sister. One of our warriors, of course, within the family. I love her to death. But let's talk about perseverance a little bit, because we are about 40 minutes in. And that's another big thing, because we're going to find different areas. So burnout is one of those things. Again, we talked about perseverance, a whole different concept. And this is where I think my lovely Mwanawa.
I'm sorry. I got distracted. Somebody else passed the CISO, which really meant a lot to me. Focus. I'm focused.
Oh, darn they are. Oh, sorry they
Beta
are.
and
Congratulations, buddy.
Okay. I'm
That's
so
my
sorry.
brother from the Army.
Let me focus over here.
That's my brother from the Army. It's
Nice.
okay. But perseverance, what does that mean to you? And why is that so important?
What that means to me, that means not giving up at the times I really want to. To push past a bad day, or to push past, I don't understand this one thing, to not be like, I don't get this, I'm done. To give myself a chance to get it. To give myself a chance to be good at something. Not when something gets difficult and just like, it's too hard, and just quit. It's pushing myself past, not to past a limit, not past my absolute limit where I'm not past the burnout, but pushing myself a little bit past comfortable to be able to achieve a goal, or what I'm trying to see what's going on.
Hold up, come here.
Hi. Now I'm happy.
Let me go.
Oh my goodness. Love it. But yeah, just to push past comfortable a little bit, not give up, but somewhere, like I said, that's still that fine line where I'm not going to push myself into, an aneurysm, but I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up because I stubbed my toe.
Yeah, and that's one of those things, right? So when I think of perseverance, I think about picking yourself up, being willing to fall down over and over again. Now, yes, there's going to get to a point where it becomes too much. It's going to get to a point where maybe eventually you realize it's just not possible. Like there are going to be obstacles in our life. There are going to be things that happen that are just absolutely impossible to overcome. Mm-hmm. And I don't say that lightly, because I am one of those people, of course, as you know, that says you can push past anything with help, by yourself, as long as you have the willpower to do it. But there are just certain concepts, certain things, certain areas of life. For instance, I could never be a nurse or doctor. And it has nothing to do with not being able to learn it. It's because from the time my wife got an epidural, I can't handle the sight of blood. Just I don't know why. I don't know what triggered it, but it is what it is.
So you have to know your limitations. I don't call them limitations, but not limitations. What's the word I'm looking for? Your not parameters, something like limitations, because that
you have to know your barriers.
Thank you.
And I mean true barriers,
right?
Not the glass ceiling, because that glass ceiling is garbage, and that is the limit you put on yourself. I'm talking barriers, like brick wall with freaking defenses and everything else. Yeah, that type of shit. So I could never do something like that.
Right.
But there are things in life that you self-impose barriers. And that is where perseverance comes in, because that is when you can sit there, you fell down. Maybe you didn't pass the test. Guess what? I'm going to get my ass back up. I'm going to learn it, and I'm going to go back and do it again.
And I'm definitely going to pass it that time. Yeah, that's perseverance.
Maybe you didn't get a job, or 100 jobs, or 1,000 jobs. But here's the thing. If it means enough to you, and if you really believe in yourself, and you really believe, I ain't even going to say you believe in yourself, because let's be honest, after about 100, 200, 300 failed jobs, job interviews, or whatever the case may be,
right,
you may be lacking that belief in yourself. But it doesn't mean you can't do it. You persevere, you overcome, and you keep going at it, because that field itself, that knowledge you have, is important. So you have to be able to overcome.
I applied for, and within 6 months, I want to say I put out about 250 job applications before I got my job. So it got real real depressing there for a minute. It's like, okay, this is never going to happen. Never is a very long time, and it was definitely not ever going to happen if I just stopped, if I just quit. So that was, kind of what kept me going. Is if I stop doing this altogether, then I've got nothing out of it. It's just something else that I'm going to have to tell myself, well, you didn't do this, you didn't complete this, and then I'd be mad at myself because it's something I know I can do. I just didn't keep at it.
And that's one of the things. So me and Amanda talked yesterday, and one of the things we talked about was just the obstacles we face, the things we go through in life, the way we deal with situations, the way we deal with people. And, for me, the way I look at all these things is no matter what happens in life, you can overcome it. You can deal with it. You just have to have the right mindset. Now, for some, it's faith and spirituality. For some, it's just belief in self. For some, it's, there's all these other different reasons people can do it. Some people just give up on themselves because they don't have the support system behind them to say they can actually handle it. They can do this. You can overcome this. And I'll be the first one to tell you, Amanda, who I've been talking to for a while because she's good people, and I'm, getting her into cybersecurity, passed her first week of Google, cybersecurity boot camp. Hoorah, Amanda, love you, girl. So
That's a huge deal, because that first week, if you can get through that first, some people get scared off in the first week and they're like, I cannot do this. So don't poo-poo the first week. That's
well, there's also a stipulation between me and her of her getting through that. And it's a bet. Well, not really a bet, but it's something me and her got going on where I was like, look, you do this, I got you. But if she quits,
say no more.
Like, you out, girl. You lost. And it's nothing serious. It's just a situation. I know some of the situations she's in. I'm just like, I got you. I'll take care of you.
Could have bought her a jumbo jet. That's not my business. That's y'all.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is.
She's taken care of. As long as she keeps at it. She quits doing it. That's when.
And that's it.
We got issues.
That seems
But
fair.
I do have a question here from Jax, and I'm going to let you handle this one. Can you have perseverance without being resilient, or are they the same, or do they work synergistically together?
Y'all going to make me think today.
You got to think, and I'm going to let you think because you're going solo.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Nothing but my face in the screen. Can you have perseverance without being resilient? I'm going to answer this in parts. You can, I think, but that's when you start running into possible burnout. If you keep at something and you keep at something and you keep at something, but you're just wearing yourself down, you're not building yourself back up, or you're not, Teflon tough on the outside, that's not going to be good. I don't think they're the same. I don't know how to explain. They're not one. One is, to me, more of an action, and the other one is kind of more of a state of being. Ideal situation when you get, most success is when you persevere and you're resilient. Hope that made sense. Like I said, if I'm, got a really soft head, this is a silly example. If I've got a really soft head and I want to keep beating my head into a wall, that's not going to end well. As if I have a really thick head and I'm doing this. Okay, yeah, I'm persevering at it, but my head's not resilient, so I'm going to wind up with a big dent in my forehead. So was that not a perfect example? Was that not just epic example?
I like it.
But that's my opinion. That's my thought.
So the way I see it is like this, and Jax is going to completely understand where I come from because it's from a military background and where that class comes from. Resiliency and perseverance are two completely different things. They can work together, but idealistically, they're different. You see, perseverance is going to give you that ability to keep going. Resilience is going to give you the ability to continuously pick yourself up in the right headspace. So you could be you could persevere and you can keep going, but eventually it's going to wear on you. If you're not resilient, if you're not able to reevaluate, if you're not able to meditate, if you're not able to take yourself out of the situation, take the time to rebuild, recharge, regain yourself, then I don't care how much you persevere, eventually you're just going to give up. You're not going to keep doing it because you're not resilient enough to deal with the failure. Two completely different things. Perseverance allows you to keep going, but eventually you're going to get beat down. Resilience allows you to build yourself back up every single time you fall. Are they synergistic? I would say yes. I think you need both. You need resilience and perseverance.
I'd agree.
Oh man, sometimes you need to reset to keep going. And yes, Jax did say, love it. Yes, it makes sense. This is to you.
Good.
I believe we need to work together.
When I started going off into that soft head analogy, I was like, oh, Lord, here I go. All right.
Oh, man. But yeah, perseverance is one of those things that I think a lot of people lack. No, let me correct that. It's the resilience they lack. Because after so much failure, they feel like they just can't do it. And it's because they have not practiced anything to truly make them resilient. They've not looked at themselves. They've not reevaluated their situation. They've not tried to change the way they do things. They've not set goals. They've not really done things properly. I think that the resiliency factor, and especially how we're trained in the Army and in the military in general, I believe has all the same courses. I think that resiliency factor is what's missing. You could persevere. You can continue to push and push and push every time you get knocked down. But I equate it to insanity. When you try the same thing over and over and over again, and you know it's not going to work, that's the definition of insanity. You're not changing anything. You're just going to completely, you're just going to do the same thing and not change anything. Whereas resiliency allows you to reevaluate yourself and reevaluate the situation and really figure out how to change things. So I think resiliency is a big part of it. But anyways, because I think, oh, wait, hold on. I was about to say I'm about out of questions.
Yeah, no, I saw a good one in there.
Ben Franklin says persistence conquers all things, but sometimes it's not worth the effort. Have you ever conquered through persistence only to realize it was not worth the cost/benefits?
I'm not inviting y'all next time. making me use my brain mind.
So the reality of it is, has there ever been anything you've done in your life that took you a while to do? Took a lot of failure, or maybe not a lot, but you failed, whatever. You got back up, kept doing it, and then you realized this shit sucks. I should have done it in the first place.
Not really. I mean, I'm not gonna say there's been things that I thought was going to be sunshine and lollipops, and it wasn't as much sunshine or as many lollipops as I thought. But just the act of just the process of sticking with something and knowing that I can do it brought a lot of value to it for me. I mean, I can't think of anything that I've done that was really difficult and I got in and was like, well, this is just stupid. Nothing off the top of my head. I'll keep thinking on that one, but I can't really think of something that's just been like super duper hard. And then I finally got an end game and I was like, this was pointless. Well, that's my experience.
Having 5 boys. No.
Oh, not allowed. Too late for all that.
Tried for a girl, got 5 boys. That's the problem.
Too late.
My wife said, yeah, marriage. Kudos.
Golly, y'all got some rough room.
This is one of those things. So here's the thing, and this is something you know about me. Everybody here should know about me by now. Is yes, I will take something that should be a serious topic, burnout, perseverance, you name it. Hell, I did it today on my LinkedIn post when I gave my weekend safety brief. I will take a serious topic and make light of things solely because one, I'm a veteran, and that's how we get through situations. Dark humor is our shit. That's how we survive all the bullshit. Two, because I honestly do think it's hilarious. So you can give me a deep topic, and I'm still gonna make light of the situation. Like me, love me, hate me, I don't give a damn. That's just the way I am. So,
Mhm.
yeah, marriage is definitely one of those things you got to overcome.
I can't say that. Well, I'm not.
I ain't been divorced.
I'm not married anymore, so I don't really, But I'm not
I
even going down
persevered,
that road.
got married, and now me and my wife look at it, and we ask each other every day, "Why did I marry you?" I don't fucking know. We're still
Wow.
here.
Okay.
It's
But
all
there's
fun. It's
there's
all jokes, but
there-
still, it's one of those things you look at each other and you go,
there's a grain of truth in it.
"You're weird. Why did I marry you?"
What was
I
I
don't
thinking?
fucking know. Why did
I
you?
don't know. It's a great idea at the time. I'm not sure what happened. It's all love.
It is. If you can't talk shit on each other, do you really love
Then
each
you're
other?
with the wrong person.
Right? Let's see. Where is it? Established dominance. Andrea knows what it's all about. Yeah.
There you
Hey,
go.
so for those who don't know, the weekend safety brief is this: do not add to the population. Do not subtract from the population. Do not end up in the hospital, newspaper, or jail. If you do end up in jail, establish dominance quickly. And I'm gonna add another line to that. If you cannot establish dominance, please go up to the biggest person in your cell, grab their pocket, and you are now their bitch. They will take care of you. Just saying, that is now the weekend safety brief. We added the new line. We're good to go.
That's a tactic. That definitely a tactic.
Look, it's all in fun. Here's the thing.
No, it's very funny.
It is 7:55. We're at almost the top of the hour, which of course means you're going to be giving your words of wisdom, your little last bit of advice, your information to the community. Before we do that, I want to say one thing. Those who know me know I'm a veteran. Those who've been watching for a while knows I've been around for a little while. So please do me a favor. Do not go up to any veteran, any active duty service member and tell them Happy Memorial Day and thank you for your service. That is not what it's about. It is about those who have fallen, those who did not make it home, those who maybe made it home but are no longer with us because of other reasons. So for this Memorial Day weekend, and because of the issues at hand, talk to any of your veteran brothers and sisters that you know, check in on them, make sure they're okay. I got lucky. I have not lost anyone overseas, but there is a lot of people out there that have. So before you say Happy Memorial Day, please make sure mentally they're okay and they're not dealing with the loss of those that came before and dealing with survivor's guilt.
Yep.
So that is my spiel on Memorial Day weekend. It is for those we lost, not those that are here. Other than that, please give us some words of burnout, perseverance, and any other advice. You know the drill for those trying to enter the field and those that may already be in.
Okay. Don't give up. I know that sounds very cookie cutter, and when you get to the point where you don't think you can, you don't know how to ask questions, don't let that stop you. But listen to yourself, listen to your body, listen to your mind, your mental health, and pay attention to that. Don't feel like you have to grind yourself down to a paste to be successful in this field. Like I said, everybody takes breaks from way up here to somebody who started last month. You have to take care of yourself. You have to put the mask on your own face first, or you're not going to be of any good to yourself, your company, anybody else. Know yourself first, and know that you can do this. Whatever this is, you fill in the blank with your this. Whatever your this is, this might be something else. Just be good to yourself.
Definitely. And that's one of the things I want to add on to. With burnout and perseverance, there's two very different things, because when you persevere too much, you do eventually burn out, especially if you don't have resilience, especially if you're not ever taking time out for yourself. You want to know how to prevent burnout? I'm going to tell you right now. cut yourself off from technology every week. At a certain point in time in the week, cut the technology out, live your life, get out in nature. I understand it's hard for people. You don't want your feet to touch grass. I got you, homie. I know. I hate when my feet touch mud, grass, dirt, whatever. I don't know. It's a problem with me.
That's so nice, though.
I get it. But get outside. I don't care if you wear shoes. Get outside, ground yourself, be there, be in nature, be by the fire, be in the woods, just be on your porch. I don't care. Get away from it all and leave your phone inside. Because we have to get away. If you don't get away from the technology, especially for those of us in cybersecurity, it is never going to happen. You are never going to truly prevent burnout because you're constantly going to be attached. Detach yourself from cybersecurity, detach yourself from technology. That is the only way. Perseverance, guess what? Give me a call, send me a message. I don't give a damn. I will help you persevere. We will figure shit out and you will make it. But I'm also going to tell you to take breaks.
Can I jump in and say one quick thing that really is not apropos, but I just realized that a lot of people are going to be mad if I don't mention it.
Do it.
Nobody said anything about my hair. They kept bothering me.
I love your purple hair.
Purple hair, and I got the purple hair, and now nobody said anything. Fine.
Hey, you sent me the pictures. I didn't think I needed to. I knew you had the purple hair.
It'll be like this for a little while.
I love the purple hair. That's my shit. I told you to bring it back, and you brought it back.
And I brought it back because you said it.
Amanda said it's purple.
It's very purple.
I love it. Yes, I love it. So, anyways, look, hey, this has been an amazing episode of Security Happy Hour. As always, Security. Wow, holy shit, did I butcher that? Security Happy Hour. And as always, I am here for all of you. And I will be here every week. I've not missed very many weeks. I may change the day, but I don't miss a week. So I'll always be here. You can always reach out to me on any of my social media. If you want to support the show, support any of my content to include Walk With Me, the podcast, this show, or any of the other videos I do, please check the description down below. Guess what? I don't care what platform you're on. It is fucking there. You can find it. And you can support this show. Otherwise, look, hey, y'all have a great weekend. Take care of yourselves. Reach out to some family members. I bet you they all love you and they're missing you. Take care, and I'll catch you all next week.